changes, we'll keep you up to date. News Talk KVNU, 102 FM, 610 AM. Also on the new KVNU mobile app.
KVNU News Time is 5:03. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Mount Logan Laundry. The Logan Ranger District is selling Christmas tree permits, and they are available online only at recreation.gov. When there, search Uinta Wasatch Cache National Forest Christmas Tree Permit. The cost is $22.50 this year. Additional information and area cutting maps can also be found online. There is a limit of 1 permit per household. People need to buy permits in the area they want to cut their tree. A district representative said last weekend was not too busy with people cutting down trees, but this weekend should be a little busier, and after Thanksgiving, the representative said it will really get crazy. The National Forest Service reminds people the weather can be unpredictable, so always be prepared for the worst winter conditions. Also stay on designated roads and trails. Trees must always be cut close to the ground, leaving the stump no higher than 6 inches. Tree topping is not allowed, and neither is cutting trees within 200 feet of riparian areas or lakes and streams. Trees should also not be cut near roads, campgrounds, picnic areas, administrative sites, summer home areas, or within designated closed areas shown on tree cutting maps. KVNU News Time is 5:04. KVNU weather for tonight. Increasing clouds with rain showers in the overnight hours, and then a chance of rain tomorrow morning, gradually clearing during the day. Overnight low tonight in the upper 30s, high tomorrow in the low 50s. It was 61, and right now it's 52 degrees at KVNU. Voles are still active. Make sure you take care of them now. Logan Extermination is your answer. Call today and they will terminate those burrowing pests. Call 435-752-8450.
Have you pulled your winter quilts and blankets out of storage? Do they smell stale and look flat? And is your hunting gear, sleeping bags, and coats dingy as well? Well, go to Mount Logan Laundry. It'll take no time at all to freshen everything up with their 55 and 80-pound washers and dryers, the biggest around, and it costs a whole lot less than dry cleaning, with free Wi-Fi and drop-off service. Mount Logan Laundry really is the cleanest spot in town. They're on the corner of 5th East and 9th North in Logan, or in Brigham City at 1st East and 7th South.
KVNU News Time is 5:05. Health West, a nonprofit federally funded community health center, has added 7 clinics in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming to its network after acquiring Bear Lake Community Health Centers. The acquisition means Health West, based in Pocatello, now takes care of 16,000 patients in 19 clinics plus 10 schools in the Pocatello-Chubbuck School District. Health West Outreach Manager Kelly Martinez said existing patients and new ones at the recently added clinics, including 2 in Cache Valley, should expect the best of care.
We're still the same health care that you've always depended on, you've always relied on. Health West we're held to a very high standard because we are federally funded.
The 7 new clinics include locations in North Logan and Providence, plus Garden City and Brigham City in Utah, Montpelier in Idaho, and Evanston and Rock Springs in Wyoming. Those locations remained open during the transition to Health West, enabling patients to receive much-needed care. Martinez said Health West will never turn a patient away for their inability to pay.
We have enrollment specialists that would love to sit down and take care of you with that information. And, all of our services are available on a sliding scale regardless of your insurance status. And no patient, like I said, no patient's ever turned away for their inability to pay.
Health West services include medical, OB/GYN, pediatric, dental, and behavioral health care. And the Utah House elected new leadership Tuesday night. Representative Mike Schultz, who represents Hooper in Weber County, will step into the role of Speaker. Representative Schultz said he was humbled to be chosen by his colleagues to serve as Speaker of the House. It is a responsibility and a position he takes seriously, and he promised to give his all for his colleagues, community, and for Utah. Schultz defeated Representative Melissa Garf-Ballard in the race to replace Brad Wilson. Wilson stepped down as Speaker to focus on his run for U.S. Senate. Jefferson Moss, Republican from Saratoga Springs, was elected as the majority leader. Carrie Ann Lisenby was chosen as majority whip, and Casey Snyder was elected as majority assistant whip. KVNU News Time is 5:08. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
The Aggies are back on KVNU. Hear every game along with the best coverage before and afterwards on News Talk KVNU, the home again for the Aggies.
Hey golfers, Black Friday at Birch Creek starts Monday, November 13th. Punch passes, $150. All remaining golf shoes and shirts, half off. All remaining golf hats, $15. A limited number of $150 punch passes will be sold. Black Friday at Birch Creek runs Monday, November 13th through Wednesday, November 22nd. That's Birch Creek Golf Course in Smithville.
This holiday season, we're grateful for you at Murdoch Volkswagen. Let's celebrate together during our Season of Giving sales event. We're grateful for your trust, your loyalty, and the moments you've shared with us. Right now, get 4.9% for 6 years on the Atlas or Atlas Crossport, or 4.9% for 5 years on the Jetta, Taos, or Tiguan. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family at Murdoch Volkswagen in Logan or online at murdochvw.com.
Call 866-628-3065 as a dealer for complete details. Offer expires 11/30/23.
This is Mark Anderson. Come celebrate a white Christmas with Anderson Seed & Garden. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Come celebrate white Christmas with Anderson Seed & Garden. We are potentially giving away $40,000 in merchandise for the first 50 people who spend $500 or more on holiday and Christmas decor between now and November 24th. If it snows at least 4 inches on Christmas Day and you made a qualifying purchase, your purchase is free. But you only have until November 24th to qualify. Only at Anderson Seed & Garden, Logan. See store for official rules.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People, Hour 2 of today's show. Thank you for joining us. 753-5868. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit about the science of those things that irritate you. We all have them, those kind of irrational things that just send you up the wall, almost make you want to shout. There's actually something going on in your brain when that type of reaction is triggered, and it kind of matters. We'll talk about that later on in the hour. Sticking with the science theme for the hour, we'll kick things off here with a bit of science as well. The headline I first saw, and how can you not click on this, it said, high voltage and big sparks at Utah State University. Well, of course I'm going to click on that, right? It turns out this wasn't a story about some lab experiment gone wrong. It was an article by our friend Mary Ann at Utah State University on an upcoming event this Friday. And everyone is invited. This is a free event, happens annually, and everyone is invited to attend this family-friendly campus event, which is referred to as the annual physics demo. The November demo show will happen this Friday, November 17th at 7 p.m. at the Eccles Science Learning Center at the west end of the USU Logan campus. And joining us right now to talk a little bit about this year's demo and what you can expect, we have with us USU teacher and lab supervisor James Coburn. And James, appreciate you taking some time for KVNU today. Tell us about that headline, if you can. High voltage and big sparks.
Well, we're the topic for this year is electromagnetic induction. And most people are like, what the heck is that? But they can understand high voltage and big sparks. So we will have some pretty high voltages. We'll get some big sparks out of different things. And have a lot of fun.
It's a great annual tradition, and we're so lucky here in Cache Valley to have this research and education happening right in our own backyard, courtesy of USU. James, I recently was able to attend one of the Science Unwrapped events on radiation, and I'd say this: if you think you know everything about a topic, even if maybe something that you've studied as a student at USU, you always end up learning something at these events, and that's why they're done, right?
Yeah, that's right. It should be entertaining. It should also be a little bit educational. So there should be fun things to learn about things that you are familiar with. There's lots and lots of electricity, magnetism in our lives.
Sure. And these are for listeners who have never attended before, these physics demos are presented by the Department of Physics. They're very hands-on. They're very interactive. James, if you can, talk a little bit about planning an event like this, because I know some of the equipment that will have to be brought in, some of the staging and placement and all of that. It must be difficult to kind of lay it out, make sure everybody stays safe, but at the same time, give everybody a chance to actually experience some of this in person. How long does it take to plan this event?
So I will literally pick the topic for the next November demo show Friday night after the demo show, and I'll spend a year thinking about it and working on it.
Wow!
And coming up with ideas and building things. I've used this as a way to build up our demonstration equipment that we use in physics classes all the time.
Sure.
And so many of the things we do use, and then there are always new things for the November demo show that people haven't seen before.
This is the 16th annual? Do I have that right?
Yes, it is.
That is a long-running annual event, and it's become a very popular tradition as well. But James, you said that you were sort of inspired to create this November demo show when you saw something called the England's Royal Institution Christmas Lectures.
Yeah, that's right. They have a Christmas lecture, and Michael Faraday got that started almost 200 years ago. And they do a big, they call it a lecture, but it's a demo show, and it's done close to Christmas. And I wanted to do something similar so that people in the community could have a chance to have this experience. And our students are gone at Christmas time,
sure.
So I thought, well, let's move it up to the week before Thanksgiving. So we've always done it the Friday before Thanksgiving.
This is, for listeners, again, some of the teasers on the press release on this. How does a transformer work? Something you'll learn this coming Friday night. Wireless charging, technically, how does that work? We all know you just put your phone on the little disc and your phone's magically charged, but what's actually happening there? And then a question that maybe it's an urban legend, maybe it's a thing. Can you really shrink a quarter with an electrical current? These are all things that will be a part of the demonstrations and exhibits this Friday night, again starting at 7 p.m. at the Emmett Auditorium in the Eccles Science Learning Center, the 16th annual USU Department of Physics demo. And speaking again with James Coburn, who was the one inspired to kick this off 16 years ago. And James also a teacher and lab supervisor at Utah State University. And James, this has to be a lot of fun for the students as well. They're in the classrooms or the research labs, and this is work to them year-round. And this is one of those nights when they kind of get to loosen up a bit and have fun with it, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think students enjoy physics demonstrations anyway. That it's not a homework problem, that it probably won't be tested on it. So they like it when I come in their class and do demonstrations. But
sure.
Here's a night where they get a big show where we try to do bigger things.
That is, is safety a concern? I know that you're expert with these devices, but you're going to have a lot of people there. You're going to have a lot of students there. But never once has there been an incident, right?
That's right. We try to keep things safe. We will block off the front row and keep people a little further back. When you have high voltage and big sparks, you got to keep a little safety distance. So we will do that.
That is very cool. James Coburn, again, our guest. He founded this 16 years ago, the annual USU Department of Physics Demo Show. Again, this Friday, November 17th, 7 p.m. in the Emmett Auditorium. of the Eccles Science Learning Center. I've been to a few of these, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool to see what the students and experts like James can do with some of this demonstration equipment. But it's also a chance to learn and to understand better the types of research and education happening at Utah State University. So please, again, it's a free event. It's family friendly. It is impressive to see. And the theme this year, high voltage and big sparks, electromagnetic induction is the theme. Again, an annual event that is free for everyone in the Valley, happening this Friday. And James, before we let you go, I know this has been 16 years running for you. You've gotten the support of the university. Are you going to keep it going? Where do you hope to see this go?
Oh, I think we'll keep it going. We got, like I said, a couple of years. It'll be the 200th anniversary of the Christmas lecture, so we better keep it going at least that long.
Wow, 200 years.
Yeah.
That is.
You said it was family friendly. This started. My kids were 11 and 13, and they were my main help with the first demo show, and my wife was doing most of it.
Really?
And they have. That was 15 years ago. So they've got spouses now that help out. My granddaughter will be a little part of it. So it is a family event. That is very cool. So the whole Coburn family is there kind of making this happen behind the scenes. That is really cool. As well as others who, I've got some students that build a Tesla coil for me.
Oh,
They're
wow.
going to come and help demonstrate it.
They built one.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Again, some inspiration here for you to get out to this event. I like to promote these events, James, because we're privileged to have Utah State University and all of this content that we can be exposed to right in our own backyard, usually for free. So take advantage, everyone. The 16th annual physics demo from the USU Department of Physics and organizer James Coburn, who is our guest here, kicks off this Friday at 7 p.m. at the Eccles Science Learning Center there at the west end of the USU campus near the Student Center. And the theme this year, again, high voltage and big sparks, electromagnetic induction. And electromagnetic induction, by the way, James, I'm sure you could put this more eloquently than I can, but it's kind of a part of our everyday, right? Yes, it is. Faraday was once asked, what's so cool about electricity and magnetism? And he said, well, one day you'll tax it. We do tax it. And we do, right? Yeah. It's a fascinating thing. And again, a free event. So put it on your calendars. This Friday, starting at 7 p.m., the Utah State University Department of Physics 16th Annual November Demo Show. This Friday, the 17th, at 7 p.m., at the Eccles Science Learning Center there on campus. I've posted a link to the USU news item on this as well, with some additional great quotes from James and others. And James Coburn, teacher and lab supervisor at Utah State University, our guest. James, thank you for taking some time for KVNU today, and can't wait to get up there Friday and see some of this. Thank you, Jason. My pleasure, and we'll speak again soon. To our listeners, again, take advantage of this, whether it's Science Unwrapped, an ongoing series each year, which has wrapped, get it, for the fall, but we'll be kicking off again in the spring. Whether it's Science Unwrapped or whether it's this physics demo this Friday, it really is a unique opportunity to have USU in our valley in many ways, but this is one of them. You can get out to these events. They're free, whether it's a lecture or a demonstration like they have planned from the Department of Physics on Friday night of some of their equipment and their experimental technology. I said that wrong. Technology for experiments, we should say. Whatever it is, take advantage. And again, high voltage and big sparks, electromagnetic induction, the theme for the 16th annual USU Physics Department November Demo Show. This Friday, 7 p.m. in the Emmett Auditorium of the Eccles Science Learning Center there on campus. A free event, fun for the family, and you'll be impressed, trust me. And we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
Are you in need of excellent surgical care? Budge Clinic General Surgery offers the future of surgery with state-of-the-art robotic-assisted procedures. From cancer treatments to surgical needs, they've got you covered. Call Budge Clinic General Surgery today, 435-716-1950, to schedule a consultation and experience the best possible outcome. Trust Drs. Anderson, Marshall, McKenna, and Peterson, the experts at Budge Clinic General Surgery, helping people live the healthiest lives possible.
The Above and Beyond Salute.
Hello.
Good morning. Is this Sheldon Main of Grace, Idaho?
Yes.
Someone nominated you for our Above and Beyond Salute. I understand that you're a retired Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Well, this individual that nominated you noted that while you were in the Air Force, you were deployed at least 6 times fighting for our country. And so I have a $40 gift card for you to Firehouse Subs as a way of saying thank you for what you have done for our country and community.
Oh, man. Well, thank you.
The Above and Beyond Salute on News Talk KVNU.
No one wants to deal with expensive medical bills, pushy insurance adjusters, and chronic pain after a car accident. What you need is an advocate by your side. Call the advocates today for a free case evaluation at 801-355-5550 or chat online at utahodvocates.com.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. A pleasure to host James here on the show as our starting interview this hour. It's really fun. I mentioned that last week I went to that Science Unwrapped event on radiation, and I thought I pretty much knew everything about radiation. I took a lot of physics classes in college and in high school. I read a lot of physics books because I'm a nerd. And I kind of thought that I sort of understood everything there was about at least the physics of radiation. But I didn't learn at that event last Friday. They went through, 2 Fridays ago, they went through radiation in our daily lives, from radon coming up through the earth and why that's so serious as a potential cancer causer in all of our homes, to medical equipment. And now I don't remember which one it was, Bill, but one of them, which is the one that they put your whole body in? Is that the MRI?
MRI.
So all of them make you radioactive for a period of time. What are the other ones? So there's MRI, CAT scan, and I forget the third one, which is they do it on your heart usually, but it's similar. Anyway, all of those make you just a degree more radioactive after you have like a CAT scan. You're a little more radioactive for a few minutes afterwards. There are some intensive scans they do for certain types of cancer where they actually will make a patient sit for an hour or two before they're released to go with their loved ones or family to go home because of the radioactivity. Those are very rare, and they're only used in certain aggressive types of cancer. But they do make you radioactive for the radiation from certain types of scans. But the one they put your whole body in doesn't. Even though it's still using radiation to do that MRI, it's a different type. And so it doesn't make you radioactive whatsoever. It's your whole body in a tube for an uncomfortable amount of time. I've never had one done, and I dread the day that it ever comes up. The doctor says, well, let's do an MRI, because I'm not sure how I'm going to react to that little tube. But it doesn't make you as radioactive as the others because it's a different wavelength, basically. My point is, I learned this at a free event at USU 2 Fridays ago. It's very cool that we have these resources. So as far as the physics demo this Friday, this is a bit different. Science Unwrapped is kind of like a college class lecture, but done in a fun way with lots of jokes and laughing to keep everybody entertained. So it's more of a presentation than a lecture. And Science Unwrapped is wrapped up for the fall season. We'll be back in the late winter, early spring with the second part of their series for the school year each Friday. But this Friday, the USU Physics Department, as we spoke with James, they're hosting their big annual demo. And the demo is exactly what it sounds like, demonstration of all the equipment they use in the classrooms and in the labs for the physics research and the physics education. And it's really cool. It's very hands-on. And this year they're focusing a bit more on voltage and sparks and electromagnetic induction, which basically right now you're sitting, I guarantee, within a few feet of several different items that work in some way using electromagnetic induction. And it's a free event. What else is there to say? But 7 p.m. at the Echo Science Learning Center. I'm going just for this, Bill. So I happen to know the answer to how transformers work and how wireless charging works, how a induction stove generates heat. Those are things I've read about before. I don't know the answer to this. I know I could Google it. I'm not going to. I'm going to wait and find out on Friday at the event. But can you really shrink a quarter with a certain amount of electrical current? And turn it. Secondary question: can you make a Tesla coil sing? I've heard that before too. That you can use electricity to make a coil sing. I don't know the answers to those two, and I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to wait and find out Friday. Again, a free event, 7 p.m. at the Emmert Auditorium of the Echo Science Learning Center. There at the west end of campus, right across from the Student Center, and free event, the 16th annual Department of Physics Demo Show. Open to the public, family-friendly, and a lot of fun. And last year, for example, they had the kids actually getting in some of these things. And yeah, it was just really cool. But I assume they'll have something fun like that again this year. So get out, take advantage of it. By the way, a little note on this. This goes for every campus event for the next little bit because there's some shuffling going on up there. But for a long time, parking was quite difficult in the terraces. Those are officially back open. So both the 7th East, 6th North, and the 850 East, 7th North University parking terraces are both open and will be open and free to the public the night of this event on Friday night. So, all right. Coming up on the other side, the magnanimous, incomparable Craig Hislop joins us. This is pretty big news for those out there who take advantage of or utilize on a regular basis Cache Valley and northern Utah's health access. If you are someone who is concerned about your proximity to health centers and clinics, all of these things from Cache Valley on up into southeastern Idaho, of course, are a big concern to a large number in our population. And Mr. Craig Hislop, with an announcement, has some really good news in the form of 7 new ones coming to our area. Details from Mr. Hislop right after these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 5:30, and the news is brought to you by U&I Furniture. A 44-year-old Tremonton man has been bound over for trial on allegations of driving to Logan to have sex with an undercover police officer posing as a 13-year-old girl. Christopher Eric Bryland pleaded not guilty to the charges before being ordered to appear again in court February 12th. Bryland participated in a preliminary hearing Monday in Logan's 1st District Court. He was previously charged with attempting sodomy on a child and aggravated sexual abuse of a child, both first-degree felonies, and 2 counts of enticing a minor, a second-degree felony. The charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison. According to prosecutors, Bryland allegedly started sending messages to an undercover officer on July 14th. The Logan City police officer was posing as a teenage girl on a popular chat app, attempting to locate and identify people who might be sexually exploiting children within the community. Police report Bryland initially told the officer he didn't mind hanging out but didn't want to do anything illegal. He also discussed picking her up while he was in Logan running errands on a few occasions. As the messages continued, Bryland allegedly began making more sexually charged comments. The chats became more graphic in nature, including a time when He expressed a desire to engage in sexual activity with both the undercover officer and her supposed mother. On July 27th, Bryland told the undercover officer he was coming to Logan and wanted to meet up to have sex. A location was set up where police were waiting and arrested the suspect without incident when he arrived. Thanksgiving is approaching, and this year's meal will cost you more. It turns out turkey may be a bit cheaper, but sides have seen a surge in price. Wells Fargo's Thanksgiving report shows the wholesale price stores pay for turkey is down 30%, but that's only translating to a 9% drop in prices inside the grocery store. Everything else is getting more expensive. The side seeing the biggest increase is cranberries. The price of the ones you get in the can is up 60%. Even making pumpkin pie is getting pricier. The cost is up 30% from 2022. Wells Fargo's report shows russet potato prices are at an all-time high, and canned green beans have also seen a spike in price. And more than 24 Utah lawmakers are requesting an open audit into the relationship of Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes with Tim Ballard. Operation Underground Railroad and the production of Sound of Freedom, according to the audit request, concerns focus on governance, oversight, and the AG's ties to Ballard and Operation Underground Railroad. The audit proposed will examine decision-making, travel policies, office culture, and potential use of state resources in connection with Ballard and related projects. The request was made by a group of legislators on Monday. KBNU News Time is 5:33.
Thank you. UNI Furniture wants to say thank you to all of their friends and customers. UNI Furniture is grateful to be a family business, now in their 5th generation. For over 90 years, they've always offered a good product at a good price. And that's why they say you'll always find a better buy at UNI. Stop by and see them this holiday season with lots of store-wide specials and great bargains. Purchase any sofa or sectional, and UNI says thank you with $100 off on any chair to go with it. UNI Furniture in downtown Logan.
President Biden and China's President Xi concluded their first face-to-face meeting in a year with a commitment to stabilize their relationship. They also agreed to combat illegal fentanyl and reestablish military communications. Multiple U.S. and Israeli officials say progress is being made on a hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas, brokered by the U.S. and Qatar. UAW workers at GM's plant in Wentzville, Missouri, rejected the automaker's contract offer.
It's cost of living. We can't even afford the vehicles that we make. We can't. Gas is $5. Come on now. Everything's going up, but I pay.
Assembly worker Andrea Wright says the deal doesn't even keep up with inflation. The Virginia mother of a 6-year-old boy accused of shooting his first-grade teacher during class was sentenced today to 21 months in prison. Deja Taylor pleaded guilty to using marijuana while in possession of a firearm. San Diego's Blake Snell and the New York Yankees' Garrett Cole are this year's Cy Young Award winners. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
KVNU weather for tonight, increasing clouds and a chance of rain in the overnight hours, and then rain, good possibility, especially early on Thursday, but clouds will be decreasing as well, and we should have a little bit of sunshine by afternoon, high tomorrow in the low 50s. Nice day today at 61. It's 47 right now at KBNU. If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault and worried about how to pay the bills and take care of your family, you deserve an advocate. The Advocates, injury attorneys, now with offices in Logan. Chat online at utahadvocates.com or call 801-355-5550. You can always get more news at cashvalleydaily.com.
This is Jill Anderson, CEO of CAPSA. CAPSA is Cache Valley's nonprofit domestic violence and sexual abuse support center. With the financial support of our community, CAPSA quietly and expertly aids thousands of individuals and families escape abuse, start new lives, and heal from the trauma. Thank you everyone who donates and supports CAPSA. I invite everyone to join us and become a supporter.
During this season of giving, CAPSA is inviting you to give the gift of hope. To learn more and donate, visit capsa.org/giving.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AAMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
The final Aggie home game of the season is Saturday as Utah State hosts Boise State.
It's a huge game. I mean, we don't like them. They don't like us. It's a natural rivalry right here. We all know that. They're physical. They play great defense. They can run the ball. Man, we got to play our best ball.
Pre-game begins at 3, kickoff is at 5, and post-game and Aggie call immediately follows the game. It's the Aggies and the Broncos. Saturday on News Talk KVNU, the heritage home for the Aggies.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. They're called FQHCs in healthcare circles, where people like to use technical names, but these are federally qualified health centers. They've been around forever. They're nothing new. They were beefed up with more funding through the Obamacare law in 2010, and Congress has since expanded some of that funding since then, even when it was discovered that they work very well. Why they work very well is a conversation for an entirely different day, but good news for people in Cache Valley, as a nonprofit federally funded community health center is expanding into our area with the details. Here's Craig.
Well, thank you, Jason. Health West has added 7 clinics in Idaho, Utah, and Wyoming after acquiring Bear Lake Community Health Centers in January. The acquisition now means Health West takes care of 16,000 patients in 19 clinics plus 10 schools in the Pocatello-Chubbuck School District. Health West is a nonprofit, federally funded community health center based in Pocatello, Idaho. Kelly Martinez is the outreach manager at Health West. He joins us. Kelly, why was this a good idea for Health West to add these 7 clinics?
Thanks for having me. First of all, Greg, I really appreciate it. Expansion and growth has always been in the works for Health West. Since we started in 1976, I think that's part of the vision that we, the whole, that we've had across the board. But it was an opportunity that came our way, and my CEO Mindy Benedetti and my COO Amy Tovey, as well as many others, jumped on board and said, we would love to take this opportunity and take the ball and run with it. I mean, expansion was always in our plans anyway. I think the whole this whole situation just was very fortuitous for us, and so we're glad that it happened, and we're glad to be moving forward with it.
Were these 7 former Bear Lake Community Health Centers in any kind of need of help or distress?
I'm not sure how you would want to word it. I just know that there was an opportunity for us to acquire these properties. I know that they needed some assistance. And we were able to do that. It's been quite the process. It's been a long road. It's been almost a whole year that we've been waiting for the official acquisitions to go through. But we welcome it, and all we want to let the wonderful our patients know is we're still the same health care that you've always depended on, you've always relied on. Health West we're held to a very high standard because we are federally funded. Our level of health care therefore is at the top, and it has to be. We have to report. We're held to a higher standard. We provide the best, quality primary care, behavioral health, everywhere from dental to just all the way across the board. I mean, all the primary care, pediatrics, OBGYN. I mean, just a variety of services that we provide, and we're held to that high standard, and we stand behind it. I mean, we believe in providing quality, affordable, patient-centered health care, and we accomplish this by taking a team-based approach to the medical and mental health well-being of all of our patients.
2 of the new clinics are here in Cache Valley, the North Logan and the Providence, plus Garden City, Brigham City in Utah, Montpelier in Idaho, Evanston, and Rock Springs in Wyoming. For somebody who was a previous patient at, say, the Providence Clinic, will they notice any differences between their previous visits and now visiting the new Health West there in Providence for the first time?
We would like to think no. I mean, we would like to think that it's going to be the best that it can be, and if it's not, we definitely like to know that it's not. But I mean, I'm sure that you're still going to get the same quality of care, probably even better. And I'm not, that's not a disrespect to anyone else. It's just that I know, being here for 2 years and following Health West for a lot of years, just the quality of care that they're able to provide and the standards that they're held to. Is you can still expect that same quality care that you received before, if not better. And if it's not to your, if it's not doesn't meet your expectations, we definitely want to know about it. But we believe that it will. We believe your experience will be an amazing experience. We believe that you and your family you're going to feel safe in our hands. And our providers, we feel that we have the best around, and we're going to take great care of you and your family.
Dr. Kelly Martinez, he's the outreach manager at Health West. The clinic's printed material says Health West will never turn a patient away for their inability to pay. So how is that handled?
That is correct. We have a special services fund. That's where all of the we're a nonprofit 501c 501c3. All of any of the monetary value that goes into our company goes to our special services fund to provide that type of health care for those family in need. That's why we're able to help out a family if they really if they need it. We understand that these are tough times on a lot of families out there, and we want them to be able to come to a place where worrying about the cost of a health care bill should be the last thing that they think about. And not just for their kids. I mean, for parents too. I mean, I think as being a parent myself and a grandparent, we tend to push our own health care aside to take care of our young ones. But you have to take care of you too, because you can't provide for them if you're not healthy. So all the way across the board, we like to encourage those who have not even who may not even know Health West or have ever stepped in through our doors. We encourage them to come by and give us a chance. Give us a chance to provide you and your family with quality, affordable health care. And for families that are in need, especially, with the whole, there was a Medicaid, and the enrollment process for that COVID money that was there before. A lot of people were having to re-enroll, reapply for Medicaid, and it's been a process for a lot of families. And there may be some out there who may not think that they qualify, and they do. At least give us a chance. We have enrollment specialists that would love to sit down and take care of you with that information. And all of our services are available on a sliding scale, regardless of your insurance status. And no patient, like I said, no patient's ever turned away for their inability to pay.
Well, Kelly, people within our listening area are close to at least one of these locations, and probably many of them. And I just wanted to thank you for your help in helping us understand what Health West is all about.
We really appreciate it. Appreciate your time, Greg, and thanks for having us. And we would encourage, like I said, everyone out there, if you have not popped through the doors of Health West, please give us a chance to show you just the kind of quality care that you will receive with a variety of services. And you can always go to our website, www.healthwestinc.org, for more information, for locations, and more.
Thank you. Let's get back to Jason and to Bill now.
Thank you, Craig. This is very cool stuff. These federally funded health centers have really made a big difference in our healthcare access here in Utah, and even more so in some of the rural areas of southeastern Idaho. So this is pretty good news that this coordination is happening. And so thanks for the details, Craig. By the way, if you would like information about any of these health centers, I've posted a link, one to the Cache Valley Daily story on this, but also to the Utah Health Policy Project keeps a running tab of health centers throughout the state for those who are maybe experiencing a temporary financial difficulty, or maybe not temporary. Maybe it's been all year. I know some people in that situation. That's what these health centers are there to help you. As mentioned by Craig in the interview, they do things on sort of a sliding scale when possible. There are some things where there is a set rate because they pay a set rate for certain types of tests and things like that. But general medical care, even dental care and more, they can save you some money. So take advantage. And if you know someone who would benefit from it, again, details on these 7 new health center options in our region at CacheValleyDaily.com, and I've linked to that on our Facebook page. And we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
Adams Wealth Advisors is proud to announce that they've been named as one of the best financial advisory firms in the country by USA Today. Start maximizing your wealth potential with a team of experienced advisors who specialize in working with high net worth individuals. Let Adams Wealth Advisors help you achieve your financial goals with a personalized approach to investment management and planning. For more information on how Adams Wealth Advisors can help you achieve your financial goals, go to adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
Our children and grandchildren want to live here, and we want them to be here. We must find ways to ensure that our community has safe and affordable housing for all stages of life. I bring experience and a proven track record of creating solutions for Logan. I am Jeannie Simmons, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Jeannie Simmons for Logan City Council.
They love home game days at Locker 42. Saturday, it's the end of the home football season when the Aggies host Boise State. A 5 p.m. kickoff means cooler game temperatures and dressing warmly with a jacket and hat from Locker 42. Or stay really warm with an Igloo fan wrap. Full of unique Aggie items and apparel. Locker 42, a store exclusively for Aggie fans.
Not sure what to do for Thanksgiving dinner? Does the thought of that mess turn you off? Then call the Beehive Pub and Grill. They have an amazing family-style Thanksgiving meal ready to go. Just order by Saturday, November 18th by 5 p.m. Pick up on November 22nd between noon and 6. Heat and serve. That's it. A full Thanksgiving meal with all the normal fix-ins without the hassle. Prices will vary. Order for 2 or get meals for 6. Call for details. Beehive Pub and Grill, Logan.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Thursday on This Morning, America's First News. Why did conservatives give House Speaker Mike Johnson a get-out-of-jail-free card on his temporary spending plan? We'll have analysis. Also, you've noticed at the pump that gas prices are falling, but why and how long will it last? We'll preview an OPEC meeting and how much you can save by flying on the day of a holiday. Thursday on This Morning, America's First News. From 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM. Your station for news and talk.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. This was an event at, let me double check. Yeah, Utah State University of Utah last week. And we didn't have a chance to really throw it out there. I wanted to throw it out for listeners and anybody who wants to weigh in, 753-5868. I know I have some thoughts on this, but so there was a film that was being screened at the University of Utah by a off-campus conservative group that had just reserved, a space to show this film they'd made. And the film is, medical professionals have said this film is dangerous, scientifically inaccurate, and ignorant, was one quote. It's been basically just hammered by medical professionals and scientists. So it's probably a film that shouldn't be shown because you're spreading this misinformation. But still, they had gone through the proper channels to reserve a screening room at the University of Utah campus, and we're doing that in the middle of this. A politically opposing, I would say, student group stormed in to the screening and shut it down. And I'm not going to. I know many people, because of our partisan blinders, will be saying something to themselves right now, or maybe even wanting to say to me, that's what the left does. Well, that's what the right does too. And that's my point, because I watched this play out. I watched all the hubbub over this, and now the University of Utah is promising to review their documents on how this type of thing is handled and how this. So here's my take on it. Why? I understand if something, this film is garbage. This is propaganda, literally made up by YouTube crackpots, who they aren't pretending to be doctors, because that would be laughable. They're literally just YouTube celebrities. And if there's a group of people that finds that a credible enough scientific source, I get the urge to try and resist that, because their scientific ignorance doesn't stay with them. They can affect us negatively with their bad decisions. I understand all of that. But this was a 50-minute movie being shown. Why storm the theater and shut it down? But the broader question I have, because again, this isn't just this left-leaning group on campus that did it this time, but the same thing has happened with right-leaning groups on campuses throughout the United States. And I'm also not going to sit on a high horse and do, you see a lot of older pundits doing this, and it's obnoxious. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, this didn't happen in my day. This cancel culture has gone far too far. That is one of the laziest critiques you can find out there. Cancel culture is just what we call it right now. It has always been around, and it's always been good and bad. It's always been used in a reasonable way, and then at times used in an excessive and reactionary way. But it's always been a thing. It ain't new. We just call it something different every time we want to gripe about it. So cross that off the list. Go back to the basics of this. So you get rid of all the distractions, all the weak arguments that partisans especially are going to make to try and make it look worse when the other side does it than when their side does. And just rest on that really simple question. Why shut it down? Standing outside the theater where this is being screened, protesting or holding signs or even trying to educate the public coming in and going out that this is, crackpot YouTube celebrity propaganda that you should not believe if you're a rational person, fine. It's a free speech campus. If you want to stand outside the theater and say that to people coming in and going out, absolutely go right ahead. But storming inside and making noise until they basically have to stop the film and call it a night, you made them your quote unquote opponents in this debate, the victims, the innocent victims is how they'll be seen. Moving on to some other examples in the same line of thought. And don't get me wrong, those who say disruptive protest is a bad thing are just privileged. Because disruptive protest is how this country started, to say the least. Disruptive protest has led to huge legislative advances like the Civil Rights Movement and the ensuing Civil Rights Act that came out of it, which was a monumental piece of legal change here in the United States. All of that was the direct result of disruptive protest. Us and our eventual exit from the Vietnam War, which was probably headed into something a little bit more like the Afghanistan war that went on for more than 20 years had there not been disruptive protests, especially on campuses in the late 60s, early 70s. So anyone, again, who says disruptive protest is bad, ignore them. It can be, but it's not bad just by default. That said, there's this trend right now of climate protesters, people who, and I get where they're coming from. There are folks who feel that, and the science does back them up, this is a bit more urgent than most of our elected officials seem to be acting. And I agree with them. I think the politics have basically render us absolutely weak and ineffective as a country. We can't solve problems right now. So we're just occupying space, basically, on the world stage, except for our military, which is still able to function. But legislatively, we're a laughingstock for the time being. We can't tackle serious issues because of the current state of our politics. So I get why that might inspire someone to want to go out and do something disruptive to get people thinking or talking about climate change. And it's their right to do so. And as I've already said, it is in and of itself not always a bad thing. It can be. And I'll give an example here. But along the lines of these protesters who went in and shut down this movie at the U of U last week, the protesters blocking traffic to raise awareness about climate. Now, I've heard a lot of people say everyone who was stopped in that traffic jam because of those climate protesters hates their cause now. I don't agree with that. I think people are smarter than that. We all realize we all live on this planet. So if someone did drive away from that blocked traffic experience because of protesters and think, that's it, I'm going back to burning coal to heat my home, well, that person probably was going to make some bad decisions eventually anyway. But rational people, the majority of people, were irritated and went on about their day and maybe just couldn't stand those individuals who blocked traffic. But the question I want to ask is, what are you achieving? You know, you're getting headlines, you're getting on the news, and if your goal is, I guess, just to get people talking about climate change in any way, then you succeeded. But you also made people late for work. You could have cost someone, maybe someone, very concerned about losing their job, stressed out and having anxiety there in traffic because they're going to be 15 minutes late because of your protest. You're affecting innocent people. And as far as you know, people who would be right there with you in a different type of protest supporting your cause. I feel like something's going on right now. Where there's, on left and right, there's this reactionary urge to just lash out like children. And maybe everyone's that frustrated. Maybe people have that little faith in our elected leaders. It would certainly make sense and maybe be justified. But that's what it seems to me that is happening. Kind of like a collective tantrum that's bipartisan. I don't know. Wrapping up with some